How can we find that? Spoilers? Okay, shut the fuck up, chatter. It's gonna be like, oh, I need to subscribe, I guess. It's got to be like Hassan Minhaj or something. And this person is just like hurting my feelings. I can't check it. I'm not subscribed. It's Hassan Minhaj. Oh my God. You dick.
Have bought into this bullshit, hook, line, and sinker. They haven't learned their lesson and probably never will. Let these weaklings continue forward and do the Democrats' work. Don't even think about talking of our incredible and unprecedented success because I don't want their support anymore, unquote. This same energy continued in the Oval Office this afternoon where the president said this.
They're wasting their time with a guy who obviously had some very serious problems, who died 3-4 years ago. I'd rather talk about the success we have with the economy, the best we've ever had.
It's, of course, not a waste of time to care about the fact that dozens, if not hundreds, of survivors of rape, assault, trafficking, and more have been denied justice in the Epstein case from the jump. Aside from Epstein's own vile crimes, Epstein allegedly helped other powerful people in his...
I like that he says 3 to 4 years because, like, he somehow tries to make this like a Biden thing when Jeffrey Epstein was killed when he was president.
his orbit get away with heinous actions, including sex abuse, sex trafficking, in some cases the sexual abuse of minors. Here's just one portion of a victim impact statement surrounding the trial for Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell, who was sentenced to 20 years in prison for conspiring with Jeffrey Epstein to sexually abuse minors. One victim, who went by the pseudonym Kate, wrote to the judge, quote, "I witnessed Maxwell's relentless and insatiable drive to meet the sexual needs of Epstein at any cost to the vulnerable girls and women upon whom she preyed and fed to Epstein and other powerful men. The many acts that were perpetrated on me by Epstein, including rape, strangulation, and sexual assault, were never consensual and would have never occurred had it not been for the cunning and premeditated role of Ghislaine Maxwell played." Kate went on to write that the consequences of what Maxwell did have been far-reaching in her life. And this has been, let's just say it, this has been a huge about face for Trump. He's the dog who caught the bus. On a podcast just last fall, he promised he would release the Epstein files.
But a lot of big people went to that island. But fortunately, I was not one of them. Yeah, I'd be inclined to do the Epstein. I'd have no problem with it.
Back in 2019, in Trump's first term, he retweeted a baseless conspiracy theory suggesting that Epstein's death was tied to Bill and Hillary Clinton. The Epstein case is sadly not a hoax, as the president now claims. So what's going on here? Let's go to CNN's Kristen Holmes at the White House. Kristen, Trump has gone from saying...
Bro, how are you not going to show how Donald Trump on many instances wished her well? I'm surprised more people haven't brought up that Axios interview. Because that Axios interview, it says something fucking insane. Hey, thank you, Ren, for the 5 gifted subs. Maxwell family put out a statement. Our sister Ghislaine did not read. We covered this. Did not receive a fair trial. Her legal team continues to fight her case in the courts and will file its reply in short order due to the government's opposition to the Supreme Court. If necessary, in due course, They will also file a writ of habeas corpus at the U.S. District Court SDNY. This allows her to challenge the imprisonment on the basis of new evidence such as government misconduct that would have likely changed the trial's outcome. Following the government's response, David Oscar Marcus, counsel of record for our sister in her petition to the United States Supreme Court, had this comment. I'd be surprised if President Trump knew his lawyers were asking the Supreme Court to let the government break a deal. He's the ultimate deal maker, and I'm sure he'd agree that when the United States gives its word, it should keep it. With all the talk about who's being prosecuted and who isn't, it's especially unfair that Ghislaine Maxwell remains in prison based on a promise the U.S. government made and broke. Yeah. Does anyone have the video of Trump talking about Ghislaine Maxwell in like incredibly positive terms? If they free her, the Republicans are cooked. I don't think they're freeing her. I think they would. The more likely scenario is that she also has an accident, which would completely brick everyone's brains. Like, yeah, here it is. Here it is. This is the most damning piece of evidence you could show for Trump's possible involvement beyond what he is stating right now. Look at this.
Mr. President, the other day a reporter asked you about Ghislaine Maxwell. You said, quote, I just wish her well, frankly. I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, but I wish her well, whatever it is. Mr. President, Ghislaine Maxwell has been arrested on allegations of child sex trafficking. Why would you wish such a person well?
First of all, I don't know that, but I do know that
she has. She's been arrested for that. You know that.
Her friend or boyfriend,
Epstein,
was either killed or committed suicide in jail. She's now in jail. Yeah, I wish her well. I'd wish you well. I'd wish a lot of people well. Good luck. Let them prove somebody was guilty. I mean, do you know that?
Oh, so you're saying you hope she doesn't die in jail? Is that what you mean by wish her well?
Her boyfriend died in jail, and people are still trying to figure out, how did it happen? Was it suicide? Was he killed? And I do wish her well. I'm not looking for anything bad for her. I'm not looking bad for anybody. And they took that and
she's a child sex, alleged child sex trafficking.
Big deal. But all it is her boyfriend died. He died in jail. Was he killed? Was it suicide? I do. I wish her well.
Like when he says her boyfriend, he's talking about Jeffrey Epstein, dude. Like, does Donald Trump ever talk like this about anyone? Ever? Like, that is crazy, brother. This was when he was president, too.
Everyone should move on from Epstein to saying he doesn't even want the support of people who care about this. That's a lot of people. We should note that in the not-so-recent past, those who cared about this case have included his son, Don Jr., his Vice President, J.D. Vance, his Attorney General, Pam Bondi, FBI Director Kash Patel, and on and on. What's the thinking here?
Jake, I'm not really sure there is thinking behind this. A lot of this seems to be unforced errors by President Trump. I've talked to a number of people around him who do believe that they are understanding where the base stands, but it still seems unclear that President Trump realizes what a big deal this is to so many of his supporters. And just to give some clarity here, it's not just the people who voted for them. It's also the big personalities on the right and some really who had never voted before, now part of the MAGA movement, who drew in their supporters, people who have podcasts, YouTube shows, to get them to the polls to vote for Donald Trump in order to release the Epstein files. And part of this, what I'm hearing from these supporters, is they don't really understand why exactly he's made this about face. Here's what he said in the Oval Office today.
It's all been a big hoax. It's perpetrated by the Democrats, and some stupid Republicans and foolish Republicans fall into the net. And so they try and do the Democrats' work.
A couple couple of other things he said, that he has lost faith in certain people because of their belief in these so-called Epstein files, that the Republicans have been duped. Again, as you noted, some of the people who've been placed in the highest roles in his administration, I guess, are some of these same people who were allegedly duped by this quote-unquote Epstein hoax, as President Trump has said. Now, our colleague DJ Judd just caught up with President Trump as he was leaving an event and asked about whether or not he would appoint a special counsel or consider appointing a special counsel. He said he has nothing to do with it. And let's be clear, if someone was going to appoint a special counsel, it would, of course, have to go through the Attorney General's office. But as we have reported time and time again since Donald Trump took office, the Justice Department is operating the least independently that it has in modern history. So, of course, President Trump would have everything to do with a decision about a special counsel here, Jake.
All right, Kristen Holmes, thanks so much. Let's discuss this with two former Trump White House officials. Mike Dubke, former Trump White House communications director in the first term. Jim Schultz, former Trump White House.
Could this work? No, it's not working. These people, there are many people who voted for Trump because they are literally overtaken by his sexual prowess, his charisma. I know that sounds insane, but that is literally why a lot of people just have a cult-like admiration towards the man. But there are far more people that actually voted for Donald Trump because they see Donald Trump as a vehicle to destroy the elites, as a mallet, as a hammer to all of the institutions. They have voted for him, especially like low propensity voters have voted for him because they see him as a change from the way that previous like establishment politicians have ruined their lives. Regardless of the fact that he's a billionaire born with a silver spoon and a child of real estate developers, okay? Doesn't matter. They see him as a guy who is anti-establishment, who's against the elites, who is going to be vengeful towards said elites. And for many of those people, their only like class association or class style political opinions
somebody that I'd rather not even mention, but she has the ear of the president. I mean, she suggested some firings in the National Security Council, and he followed through. She told Politico that she worries that his handling of the Epstein case could consume his presidency. She said, quote, obviously this is not a complete hoax, given the fact that Ghislaine Maxwell is serving 20 years in prison in Florida for her crimes and activities with Jeffrey Epstein, who we know is a convicted sexual predator. Loomer told Politico. That's all true. This is why I said, and I'll reiterate it again, the best thing the president can do is appoint a special counsel to handle the Epstein files investigation. Again, that she sounds reasonable there. She's not a reasonable person, but still, that
she's also a leader within this movement.
That's exactly
so what she says on this topic matters.
Yeah.
And to Jim's point, this is a political story now, like it or not. The courts are almost secondary to what is happening. I frankly am surprised I'm not surprised that the president doubled down or even tripled down on this, because one of the superpowers of Donald J. Trump is that he runs into fire and survives almost every time. In this instance, though, this is
he lit this fire.
Well, he didn't necessarily light this fire, but he did stoke it.
Yeah.
And as did his supporters. But they stoked it for a really good reason, because a lot of what he won on, one of the reasons that his base loves him so, is because he points to powerful individuals that have been lying to the American people. That whole story, including now sex, is wrapped up in the Epstein case. So I am surprised that he's trying to be dismissive of this at this point, but I think he's playing to his strength, which is running into this. I don't think it will be successful. Yeah. At some point, we're going to have, you are going to continue to talk about it, as will others. The Democrats will not let this go. And frankly, a good chunk of his supporters will not let this go. And this is going to affect the midterm elections. And this is now a purely political story.
A lot happening this morning. And what I'm going to try to do this morning is I seek to explain. I'm going to try to explain the best of my ability what is going on here.
Charlie Kirk yesterday said he's no longer going to talk about the Epstein stuff. And he's going to trust his friends in the government. Remember? I know Adam Friedland is doing an episode with Harry Sasson. I know. My goat. Both of my goats getting together. Two guys who fuck, okay? Two guys who simply have sex. That's it. We'll watch it. We'll watch it later. Charlie has advice about the Epstein files. Mr. President, the emphasis on Epstein is truly the best intentions of our most loyal followers is because we want what's best for the presidency. People are talking about Epstein because they love Trump. We are fearful the same people who try to kill Trump, impeach him, and throw him in prison were behind Epstein. Epstein represents a symbol of an out-of-control shadow government, and this is a chance to bring it to heel. What should Charlie's move be if he were just backing Trump? Avoid it or never talk about it? I mean, the best case scenario for Charlie is to never talk about it. But it's impossible for him to never talk about it if Trump is talking about it. Trump, ironically, is breathing life back into the story over and over again with his inability to let it go, which then obviously provokes response from his most loyal fans. And Charlie, much like myself, cannot be sheltered from that. Like, Fox News can get away with not talking about certain things. Charlie, on the other hand, can't, because this is the biggest fucking issue. And it's going to be such a prominent issue, and he's so accessible as opposed to a Fox News commentator or a CNN commentator, because it's going to be all over his fucking comments if he doesn't say anything about it. And his goal is to basically be a vessel for Trump and sometimes deliver information about what the base is demanding to Trump, and in other instances, message at the behest of Trump. So he's now stuck in this unique paradigm where he has to not talk about this shit, But then when Donald Trump talks about this shit, well, what are you going to do? You have to address it. Because now Big Daddy, Big Papi is addressing it on the main stage. So he's trying to do the same thing as like Alex Jones almost. But of course he is whereas Alex Jones is like clearly on the side of the people because he's like more beholden to his audience. Charlie is more beholden to the administration because he has a direct line of communication with the president.
When in regards to Epstein and the messaging around Epstein, I'm gonna do my best. I may not land the plane perfectly, but I think I have something to say here that will add some context and some depth to what we are seeing. President Donald Trump repeated what he said this morning on Truth Social. President Trump said basically right now in the press conference, some people are doing the Democrats' work talking about Epstein, and they are stupid people. I'm approximating. He said something similar on his Truth Social this morning, and he calls it.
This is so amazing. Donald Trump directly calling out Charlie Kirk's audience, and then Charlie Kirk having to like do Obama anger translator for Donald Trump is amazing. Yeah, go ahead, big dog. Tell us what he actually meant with this.
The Epstein hoax. Now, before we go any further, I do want to say, big breaking news this morning. John Solomon is reporting that in his sit-down interview with Donald Trump, President Trump has greenlit a special prosecutor to potentially be able to go after the criminal conspiracy around Epstein and all deep state activity. So that is a phenomenal victory. That is something that we should rejoice in. And if that is true, because it's John Solomon, it's kind of like 2 or 3 levels back, but basically going after all things deep state, a deep state prosecutor. That is a terrific development. And I would love to see, you know who I want to see do that? Ed Martin. I think Ed Martin would be a phenomenal deep state prosecutor. So let's kind of just put a part on that. Let's just put a little bit of a little plug on that because we'll get back to it. That's a huge victory. The president deserves credit there. If we get a full deep
if it's real, I love that. Dog, you got a direct line of communication with the president. Just call him up. Call him right now. What do you mean, if it's real? He straight up texts Donald Trump's children with regular frequency. And it's not just that, but Donald Trump called him personally to be like, hey, cut it out, cut the shit out. No more Epstein talk. What the fuck are you doing? To which his response was, thank you, sir. Please, sir. I apologize, sir. And then he came out with this revelation yesterday that he's went back on clearly, where he was not going to talk about this Epstein stuff ever again.
State criminal conspiracy prosecutor. Think basically Robert Mueller for deep state activity, but one of our guys doing it. And interestingly, special prosecutors and the deep state activity actually is interlaced into all of this. So this morning, President Trump posted on Truth Social. I could read the entire thing on Truth Social, but let me just kind of do the best of. You guys can obviously find it on Trump's Truth Social. He says the radical left Democrats have hit pay dirt again, just like the fake and discredited Steele dossier, the lying 51 intelligence agencies, the laptop from hell, which the Democrats swore came from Russia. No, it came from Hunter Biden's bathroom. Even the Russia scam itself, a totally fake and made up story used in order to hide crooked Hillary Clinton's big loss in 2016 election. These scams and hoaxes are all Democrats are good at. It's all they have. They're no good at governing, no good at policy, and no good at picking winning candidates. Also, unlike Republicans, they stick together like glue. Their new scam.
That's the funniest part about this, by the way. I'm sorry, but the Democrats never stick together. I wish. Like, to Donald Trump's credit, and there's obviously like a structural limitation that the Democrats will always face in terms of like disrupting the pre-existing hierarchy. Okay. And following through on campaign promises that they made. But like, that is so fucking, that's such bullshit. Donald Trump, to his credit, is capable of whipping the entire party together to get his legislative agenda across, no matter how evil it is. And he did that already. He got his BBB. Big Booty Bill. He got it across. He called every single person, and he made the boss calls, and he got it done. Everything that I have demanded of the Democratic Party in terms of whipping votes, Trump does every single time when it matters.
Is that we'll forever call the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. And my past supporters have bought into this BS. Hook, line, and sinker. They haven't learned their lesson and probably never will, even after being conned by the lunatic left for the last 8 years. I've had more success in the last 6 months than perhaps any other president in the history of our country. That is totally true. And all these people want to talk about with strong prodding by the fake news and success star of Democrats is the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. Let these weaklings continue forward and do the Democrats' work. Don't even think about talking about our incredible and unprecedented success because I don't want their support anymore. Thank you for attending to this matter. Make America great again. Okay, so let's start with this. President Donald Trump is obviously upset. Why is he most upset? I'm going to go through the top two reasons and seek to explain it. He's venting because he has achieved a lot in 6 months against all the odds. Energy prices are going down. The border is hermetically sealed. He passed the big, beautiful bill despite a 3-seat majority in the House of Representatives. He's embarking on mass deportations. He ended a war between Israel and Iran. He took out the Iranian nuclear facilities.
Bro, he started the war. This is the thing that pisses me off about Trump. Aside from all the obvious shit, this is on some super basic shit, like apolitical shit, okay? Forgive me for getting apolitical with it for a brief moment when I'm talking about Donald Trump, who obviously is a political being. Like 90% of his accomplishments that these guys give him credit for are things that he fucked up initially. Like, what do you mean he stopped a war with Iran? It's like he had the opportunity to never start a war with Iran. Like, it's so goddamn annoying where these people should be like, oh, and he's doing the tariffs. He's doing the tariffs. The economy has rebounded. It's like, yeah, the economy rebounded because it took a fucking nosedive when he started with the tariffs. And then only when he backed away from the fucking tariffs did the economy rebound and got to its previous levels. Before the dip. I wish I could get credit for shit like this. You know what I mean? I break something and then I threaten to break it further and then I just simply stop breaking it. I don't even fix it. I just stop breaking it further. And people go, oh, thank God, bro. You are the king. You are so sick. It's like, bro, I started the problem. And then I said I was going to keep accelerating the problem. And then I stopped accelerating the problem. And now all of a sudden you're like, oh, thank God. Oh, you are so good. You are so good at your fucking job. That's the Trump method every single fucking time. It's so goddamn annoying.
Ended the India-Pakistan war. He ended the Congo-Rwandan war just in his spare time. He's going after DEI. He is reducing the federal workforce. He is the biggest welfare reform in American history. I could go piece after piece after piece of all of the victory.
Yeah, and then the shit that he actually does accomplish is just horrifyingly bad for his audience, for his voters. Ironically enough, they'll be out here saying like, oh, dude, it's welfare reform. It's sick. It's like, dude, it's going to kill most people's grandparents. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, say bye-bye to rural hospital networks. It's gone, okay? It's gone. It's over. Like, what good is that? He lied. He said he was not going to touch Medicaid, and then he did this molestation of Medicaid. That's what he did. He molested the money after saying, I'm not going to molest the money. You're going to make so much money. You're going to keep winning. You're going to say, Mr. President, I'm winning so much. I'm going to say, we're going to keep winning. Molested the money. Stop money molestation a little bit, only for the stock market to rebound a little bit. Okay. And then he said he's not going to touch Medicaid, and he's molesting the Medicaid. He also said, no new wars. We're actually stopping wars. Started a new war again, and then quietly ended it, I guess. He said, this motherfucker said he's going to stop Israel, Palestine, and Russia, Ukraine day one. The audacity. The fucking audacity. It's like, especially with like Israel, Palestine, like he could do that, okay? I'm willing to give him a little bit more liberty on the Russia-Ukraine shit because like the primary party responsible for the death and destruction here is Russia. And Russia is a foreign adversary. So like you have pressure points, but you don't have the same liberties that you do and the same power that you do with Israel. You could stop Israel day one. But he didn't do that. And Trump is fucking out here not delivering on any of this shit. And the only things he does deliver on is actually harmful. And his dick riders are just like, hell yeah, baby. He's killing it. He's awesome. He's amazing. Look at the border.
That President Donald Trump was able to achieve. One of the most impactful 6 months ever of any president. So from President Trump's perspective, he is experiencing a pace. He's experiencing a reality that is far different than the first 6 months of Trump 1.0. So President Trump's immediate reaction as someone who is making phone calls to try to end the Russian-Ukrainian war, he's trying to figure out this Jerome Powell thing. He's got agencies of governments to manage. He's turning and probably saying, why is the attention on a guy who has been dead for 6 years? That is probably what President Trump is saying, and I'm synthesizing part of his venting. Here's my piece of advice, guys. Don't take too seriously this whole Truth Social here. I know some people are getting fired up about this. I don't believe he was trying to insult anybody personally. His base, the people who made his movement what it is, I think is what he was pushing back on what he thinks is a misaligned press narrative.
Oh, when he said you guys are stupid for caring about this, he actually meant like something totally different. He just didn't mean that you were. Let's look at the comments. Charlie, if someone around Trump hasn't taken 5 minutes to fill him in on why this is a big deal, that should be alarming to everyone. When Epstein is brought up, we are not talking about the man. We are talking about the whole nightmare. We want names because we want people, however, whoever they might be, accountable. I'm going to be a simple man here. I want those who have done wicked things in the videos to go to jail for a long time. Justice for the kids is what people want. This is more important than any politician, including Trump. He's gaslighting us. Duh. We care because this is another example of class warfare, and we're sick of the elites not being held accountable. If Trump really felt it was no big deal and made up by Democrats, then why did he make such a big deal during his campaign about it and promise either release it at all? If it's not that big of a deal, just release it all and move on. Bro, these guys do not care. Okay, that was a HasanAbi head? No, dude. We care about this because this is another example of class warfare? No. This is the reason why I said that brother, Republicans have no way of doing class politics. They don't understand it. Many Americans, liberals as well, don't have any understanding of class consciousness. They don't have any class politics. So they actually grab on to things like this as a signifier. It is a substitute for class consciousness. It's a substitute for class warfare. They don't understand that class warfare is being dished out every step of the way in every facet of their existence, whether it be their fucking landlord raising their rent, whether it be their boss that tells them, like, this is your salary and it's not increasing, okay? Whether it be price of groceries going up. They don't see it. They don't see that as class warfare, which it is. They only see this as class warfare. Jeffrey Epstein and all these elites get to do, like, pedophilia on fucking airplanes, on private jets, and then no one seems to care, and there's no justice ever served for these people. They see that as like a major part of this. Okay? What is this? What? Hassan tweeted silently mid-news coverage and acted like nothing happened. I'm crying.
Well, Johnson had a rare moment, extreme.
That's crazy. Bro, chill. Hey. Look away. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. They got you in 4K, Unc. That's crazy. What I do in my side monitor is my own business. Okay? If I see something, I say something. Also, you can't say shipper, bro. They're literally flying to Japan together. What the fuck are you talking about? At that point, it's like, that's crazy to say. Oh, I'm a shipper. I'm just noticing things. How am I a shipper for noticing that they're wearing the same fit to a 5-day Japan trip? Excuse me for seeing something and saying something. That's what they have on the MTA, on the walls of the MTA. What do they have? If you see something, say something, okay? You could stop a terror attack from taking place. And that's precisely what's going on here. It's not shipping. I'm just noticing a thing that I saw. I saw something and I said something. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. You're that creepy unc telling nephew why he doesn't get together with his friend standing next to him? What? Comparing this to a potential terror attack is wild. Well, you know, it's maybe terrorizes some people's hearts and souls, okay? Like, because maybe they are fearful. What if it doesn't work out, for example? Okay? That's terrorizing to think of. Okay? Maybe sometimes people feel a sense of hope. Okay? Maybe they feel a sense of hope in an otherwise dark world. Forgive me. Forgive me for having a glimmer of hope in a world that is otherwise very dark. Okay? Let's continue with the Epstein files now.
From what he wants to see as celebration of all the victories over the last 6 months. However, now let me now go to why I believe not just like why I care about this and why the base cares about this so much. And then I'm going to kind of connect the dots. Remember where President Trump was at this moment in Trump 1.0. At this moment in Trump 1.0, President Donald Trump was being hunted by Robert Mueller. President Donald Trump basically lost his attorney general at this moment in Trump 1.0. He's very loyal to Pam Bondi for many reasons, one of which is that he does not want to lose another attorney general. He does not want to lose another member of his cabinet this early on.
Dude, he has no option here. Yeah, he's small bean. Why won't you consider Trump's feelings? He'd be sad. Yeah, he has attorney general related trauma. You don't understand. This is quite distressing for Trump.
Secondly, he saw in the summer of 2017 a lot of people jump.
By the end of this Epstein process, Charlie Kirk's Vegeta-ass hairline is going to turn into Dan Bongino's hairline, non-existent. Oh, yeah, I saw this. Former NYPD head accuses Mayor Adams' police brass of criminal enterprise. Andrew Cuomo sends his regards.
Ship and align with the Robert Mueller thing. So President Donald Trump has, within his memory, he saw that his presidency in 2017 was largely taken from him in Trump 1.0 because a lot of people jumped aboard the Mueller bandwagon. And with that, he kind of saw so much of his momentum that he had from the election thwarted. When people demand that he fires Pam Bondi, he hears people demanding that he explode his admin, just like what happened in the first term. So a big question the base has is, why doesn't President Trump care as much as the base cares? So let me connect the two dots together. The base cares about this.
Bro, I never thought I see the day where Charlie Kirk is relegated to the position of like a hutch or like a sex pestiny trying to defend the Democratic incompetence. And only because, like, normally these guys get to have this veneer of independence from the administration because the administration is always giving things that their base wants. And now they have to just sit there and play catch up and play defense at a time when the base is directly at odds with the party. Fucking awesome. It's amazing. Of course, unlike those fucking losers, he has a direct line of communication with people in prominent positions of power. Those guys are just doing it for free 99 for funsies because they think there's a market for this.
Not as a way to hurt Donald Trump. And this is where I think I think I could be an explainer here because I think everyone's talking past each other a little bit. We do not care about the story as a way to hurt Donald Trump. In fact, it's the opposite. We love President Trump. We love what he's doing. We actually care about this story because this is a rare opportunity of a sloppy operation by the deep state. The deep state conducted itself in an overly messy, sloppy way. President Donald Trump taught us to drain the swamp. President Donald Trump taught us to want to go after the deep state. So I actually think we're all agreeing on this. President Trump wants.
It's also crazy for a grown-ass man, he's my age, or maybe a little bit younger than me, but he fucking looks a lot older, to be talking about another grown-ass man like this. President Trump taught me. President Trump taught us. He taught us to live. He taught us to love. He taught us to hate. Bro, this is another dude. Like, get his dick out of your mouth, brother. Holy fuck. Like, what is this treatment that he's getting? He's giving Trump the Jesus treatment. This is cult shit. Oh my God. He's talking about Trump like Trump taught you right and wrong. Okay, he taught you to hate the deep state elite pedophile cabal, and now he's defending it. What now? I'm so blue and on. I took 2 weeks off watching the stream and coming back to seeing how the Trump worshippers talk made me so aware of the genuinely authoritarian fascistic cult way they talk, Hitler vibes. Oh, yeah. It's crazy, man. Yo, I know this is off topic, but I just realized if we have elections during 2028 primary, your stream is high key going to be a coveted spot. Candidates are definitely going to want to take advantage of the Twitch streamer with the largest likely Dem primary voters. Oh, I know. I'm not looking that far into the distance right now. But I will say Zohran has fucking bricked me, okay? He's ruined me. I saw what good sex is really like. Now all the sex I'm getting doesn't feel the same. You know what I mean? This is an analogy. I did not have sexual relations with Zohran Mamdani. But like now that I see like an actual candidate who is very close to my worldview in all of the most meaningful ways, now whenever motherfuckers come to me and they're like, "Oh, well, I'm a liberal, but I am kind of progressive, I'm like, are you though? Are you though? It is different. Yeah, good dick hits different, dude. Now I'm like, I want you to be a democratic socialist. I want you to be saying things about Israel that I'm saying. You know what I mean? Within the confines of permissibility, of course. That's what I'm trying to see. So when you come to me with some wishy-washy bullshit, I don't know.
To have a special prosecutor go after the deep state. We want to have an emphasis on Jeffrey Epstein because Jeffrey Epstein was probably an actor of the intelligence agencies. We don't know.
Oh my God, the search for liberal Joe Rogan has led the Democrats to an unlikely candidate, Jamie Harrison, their former party chair. Amazing. Yeah, that'll do it. Oh, that'll do it. That'll do it. This is the dickhead that kicked you out of the DNC? Oh, I know. AOC joins Zohran Mamdani today at the Capitol.
We're in Washington, D.C., and look who I brought.
Yeah, she threw a luncheon for him.
With me this week.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
How's it going?
Hello, everyone. Good morning. We're in Washington, D.C., and look.
Don't worry, I got it on the docket. Trump calling into One America News. I got it already. It's on the docket. We're going to get there.
Oh, that for certain. He could have been a fabulist, like Mike Benz said yesterday. And maybe he was kind of doing brokering, or maybe he was kind of connecting the different entities together. But understand this. When I go to college campuses, I am not proactively bringing up Epstein.
Justice Department fires SDNY federal prosecutor Maureen Comey, who played a key role in prosecuting Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, Politico. What the fuck? Hey, yo. Hey, yo. I mean, look, she flubbed it on the Diddy shit. But then again, Trump literally said he would entertain pardoning Diddy. I'm just saying. Zohran method is unpatched right now. After the recent closure of 2 local grocery stores, the Worcester City, or is it Worcester City Council passed a bill last night ordering the city to study creative solutions like Zohran Mamdani's municipally owned grocery store idea. Worcester? Okay. I fuck with it. Dude, things are happening. Things are moving. Things are moving in an interesting direction. I like what I'm seeing. Okay? I like what I'm seeing, baby.
People are bringing Epstein to me. The reason why we are caring about this is not trying to win brownie points or not trying to make the liberals or the media care about us. To go full circle, we are caring about the Epstein story because we are afraid that if we do not lance the intelligence community bull, that tried to murder him on July 13th in Butler, Pennsylvania.
He's like, bro, remember when the deep state tried to murder Trump? It's like, okay, well, I guess he's trying to not be murdered now, bitch, because he's literally fucking defending the deep state.
Pennsylvania, that tried to take him out with Russia, then that very same deep state actor that spied on him and leaked the phone call of him between Zelensky that resulted in his first impeachment. We're worried the deep state will derail Trump. And we look at the Epstein story as a skeleton key to be able to look under the hood, dismantle and deconstruct the administrative state to protect Donald Trump from his adversaries. What do Andrea Bocelli, Steph Curry, Justin Bieber, and Tim Tebow have in common? All of their mothers were encouraged to end their pregnancies. When a woman faces an unplanned pregnancy, she is often pressured to end her child's life. She wants to make the right choice, but society and those around her are telling her that her baby is not a life. That's where the Ministry of Preborn steps in. Preborn and their network of clinics offers compassionate, loving care to mothers and the support they need to help them choose life, including a free ultrasound. Once a mother hears their child's beautiful heartbeat, she is twice as likely to choose life. If you consider yourself pro-life, it's time to join forces with Preborn. I'm a donor, and you should be too. Together, we can empower women to choose life, empower the truth of motherhood, transforms families and futures. One ultrasound is just $28, and a $140 gift will help to rescue 5 babies. When you donate monthly, you'll receive stories and pictures of lives you helped to save. What? Please dial pound 250 and say the keyword baby. That's pound 250.
I'm glad that actually I walked away for this ad because this is the most terrifying ad I've ever seen in my whole damn life. What the fuck? Aren't you excited that the Piker Broadcasting Service is sponsored by only you with no ad breaks whatsoever? The only thing we ask for here at the Piker Broadcasting Service is your voluntary contributions in the form of a $6 a month subscription or a free one in the form of a Twitch Prime. Now imagine a world where the HasanAbi, the Piker Broadcasting Service, also known as PBS, would actually be sponsored by preborn.com. Think about that. Instead, the only thing that we ask for here at the Piker Broadcasting Service is your voluntary contribution. Like I said, you can also gift a sub to others, like Matt NLT just did. 20 gifted subs. That's a crazy, crazy fucking sponsorship to have. I didn't even know like companies like this existed. Okay. Yeah, we'll send you photos of fetuses, dude. If you fucking your donations at preborn.com/Charlie using the promo code BABY will get us to send you photos of fetuses. That's crazy. Anonymous, thank you for the 10 gifted. Blue Pop Ice, thank you for the 5 gifted. Once again, the Piker Broadcasting Service is for you and by you. Your voluntary donations in the form of a subscription allow the Piker Broadcasting Service to maintain its editorial independence, and it allows the Piker Broadcasting Service to be ad-free. Thank you.
Baby, or visit preborn.com/Charlie. That is preborn.com/Charlie, sponsored by Preborn. To elaborate on this a little bit further, to Lance the Boil that tried to impale him. President Donald Trump thinks that if someone is talking about this, they're going against him. And I can understand why he thinks that way, because in Trump 1.0, so many people jumped ship and went aboard the Mueller investigation. So many people jumped off of the Trump movement and thought that Trump was done because of Russia. And President Donald Trump clawed himself.
That's not even true. That literally did not happen. Who the fuck jumped ship? Open Presents, thank you for the 10 gifted. Just curious, what are your financial ties, if you have any? Are you funded purely from subs, ads, sponsors, etc.? Genuinely wondering. What do you think? I don't even run ads. No, it's entirely a subscription-based model. What financial ties do you have? Also, if I'm a dishonest broker, why would I ever reveal that? Like, why would I ever fucking reveal that? Every now and then I'll do a sponsor stream from like Ubisoft or whatever, but that's it. Everything is also public. Fair point. No, I was just wondering. It makes me like you even more. Well, I'm glad that you like me. Yeah, I've been sponsored by Marvel Rivals before too, but that's a Chinese company, so that's fair play.
Out of it. He climbed himself out of it.
Yeah, I'm sponsored by Woke. That's what I'm sponsored by. I'm sponsored by Big Woke, okay? That's who sponsors my ass.
To barely be able to...
You support the capitalists at Amazon and now Ubisoft? Yes.
To survive after all of the deep state attacks. And Trump is getting wins, and we should be talking about them. The president is very fired up here also because this was all done under this, almost all of the documents and all of the reporting around this was done during James Comey. It was done back in 2007 under George W. Bush. This has been thrown upon his desk. And I'm going to defend the president here on one key thing. He does have a right to be a little bit skeptical and paranoid. And I'm going to try to translate part of the Truth Social as to what I think.
Bro, 11 minutes for like 11 minutes and he still hasn't even like gotten into the meat of it. Amazing. Fell for it again award. What is this? For the sake of women and children, Trump must win, says Seth Dillon, Babylon Bee's very own Seth Dillon. This probably wasn't the best way to handle a hoax.
Would be the best way to resonate with you. After all of the different...
Hasan, there's a rumor going on that you're sponsored by Steak in the background. Is this true? What do you think? What do you think? Source, I made it up. I gamble my mental health in this chat every day. Me too. Yeah. Hidden sponsorship. The best, like saying I'm sponsored by Steak is like saying I'm sponsored by the Republican Party. You know what I mean? Like I'm actively antagonistic towards this supposed sponsor of mine that I've never actually even flashed the name of. The only time I even talk about it is when I'm railing against it. Yeah, sponsored by Steak. Promo code Fuck Hasan to get your first $100 in cryptocurrencies free.
Ways they've tried to take out President Trump. He's saying, guys, they could have put a stink bomb in the quote unquote files that will make.
Oh my God, brother. What the fuck? Oh yeah. Trump is just really scared because he's been hurt before by the deep state. So he's just scared that like the deep state actually put a stink bomb in the Epstein files to make Trump look bad, you know, by saying he's directly affiliated with Jeffrey Epstein in ways that maybe is even more meaningful than we previously thought.
me look bad. Honestly, that paranoia is not totally unfounded.